Gordon came out of the tunnel smiling. It had been a month since he had been sent away. His buffers, his boiler, his smoke box, they had all been repaired once more, and he was so happy to see everyone he knew once more. He stopped at the junction station to talk to Edward. The two had a conversation about all the happenings on Sodor while he was gone, and Gordon soon left again and went straight to the big station, where he met Henry. "Hello, Gordon," said Henry. "Fancy seeing you here again. Tell me, how you seen Percy when you came by?" "And a good day to you too," said Gordon grandly. "No, I haven't seen him in over a month since I was sent to the works, and I haven't seen him in over a week," said Henry worriedly. "It's getting all a little bit worrying." "Never you mind," said Gordon. "I'll look for him myself. Why don't you just get on with your jobs?" And he went away to do some shunting, as there was no one else to do it for him. He didn't complain, but he was still a little worried over that Percy had not been seen. He coupled onto the front of the train. "Maybe I have to ask someone else," he said as he puffed out of the station. That night at the sheds, after asking Toby, Edward, Thomas, James, and Rebecca with no answer, Gordon gave up and went to sleep. The next morning, the Fat Controller told him that the engine from London wasn't coming and he was to pull the express there by himself. Gordon didn't want to know why. Gordon was steamed and hitched up to his train for his long, long journey. "I guess my search for Percy will have to continue later," he said sadly, as he travelled over the Vicarstown Bridge and onto the mainland. Gordon pulled into Euston's only water tower. He heard two diesels talking about a familiar engine he seemed to know. "Excuse me," Gordon asked, "what are you talking about?"
"Oh," said one of the engines, "we were just talking about this small green engine that came here about a month back."
He wouldn't say what his name was, so he called him the Green Caterpillar, and he liked it, and said he felt right at home. Gordon let the news sink in for a minute. "Can you take me to him?" he asked.
"He's in that shed over there," said the diesel. "He said he didn't want to be disturbed."
Gordon looked confused. He puffed forward into the shed. "Hello," he said. "I can't see him. Percy's never shy like this." It was quite confusing that Percy would hide, but Gordon had to make sure. He puffed cautiously in and stopped at the buffers. "I knew he wouldn't be in here," Gordon said to himself. Just then the shed went dark,
and Gordon had the shed door closed. Gordon was trapped. "Oh no," he cried. "What are you doing? Get me out!" "Ha ha ha," laughed the Diesels. "You snooze, you lose. Alive!" Gordon was terrified, especially when he heard the sound of flames. His wheels were starting to heat up. Oh. Gordon heard some shouting and a few bangs outside. Then the heat stopped and the doors opened. Gordon and his crew were very relieved. He gasped and rolled back outside. He was so happy to see his familiar friend. "Percy!" he cried happily. "Yes, it's me, Percy, the engine that saved you," he said. "No need to make a sing and dance about it," chuckled Gordon. "What is it anyway?" Percy asked. "Is everyone missing me now?" "Well, it seems that I miss you," Gordon said. "Aw," Percy cooed. "On more serious matters, we have to get out of here." "But how?" Gordon asked. "I have a few ideas," Percy grinned. Woo! Percy's idea was nearly brilliant. The two engines raced down the line at such high speed that they passed stations along the west coast. "This is brilliant," Percy babbled as they rushed through stations and over bridges. All was going well for them until they reached a station on the Furness line. The two engines had to stop for water, as it would be a little dangerous for Percy to be dragging the train behind. Percy was uncoupled and ran over to the water tower. "This is a nice place," Gordon muttered to himself. "Ruse." Just then, a diesel came around the corner and stopped suddenly. "Oh, hello, Boko," smiled Gordon. The diesel's eyes narrowed. Gordon was wrong. This wasn't Boko at all. "Oh my gosh," he said angrily. "The steam engine! Report him at once!" Gordon was shocked. "Oh, fudge!" he groaned. Percy raced back. "Go, go, go!" he shouted. Gordon shot off. "What are you doing?" hissed Percy angrily. "We have to get these people to their destinations on time," Gordon replied. "I didn't go all the way to London for nothing." "If we don't go now," Percy hissed, "no one will get anywhere. Now go!" Gordon sighed as the guard's whistle blew, and he set off again. Their next stop was Barrow, so they had a few more miles to travel, and they would be home free. But the reason why the diesels were chasing them was because of orders from National Rail's secretary, who hated steam engines. He had instructed all diesels to destroy any steam engines found on the mainland, and most of the diesels were happy to comply, much to the secretary's delight. It was a wonder that National Rail had not fired him yet because of his increasing nastiness towards the other heritage railways. But Gordon, meanwhile, was slowing down as Barrow came into view. The two were ecstatic to see that they would be home soon. They stopped at the station. And departed again. Gordon and Percy were in such a rush that they missed the signal, telling them that the bridge was just closing the gates. "Oh no!" cried Gordon. "We are never going to make it!" "Oh yes we are!" Percy shouted determinedly. They were just in time. They soon arrived at Vickerstown, glad that their adventure was over. James was asleep in the shed, recovering from his fire escape when he heard some whistles. He woke up suddenly and was aghast to see Percy and Gordon backing into the shed. "Percy," he cried happily. "Oh, I'm so glad to see you. What happened?" "Well," Percy sighed, "I just went over the bridge because I just had enough. I wandered around for such a long time. It was silly of me to act out like that. I never meant to not speak to the Fat Controller. James, I'm sorry. Say no more, Percy," James sighed. "I should have never gotten angry at you. We all missed you." There was silence. Percy took the opportunity to ask Gordon, "What happened while I was gone?" "Well, little Percy," Gordon began, "I've heard that half the yard burned down and James here was a hero, but I should let him tell the story." "Yes," James chuckled, "the colour of my paint speaks for itself." "I also heard about you and Thomas," continued Gordon. "I hope he is ready to forgive you." Percy smiled and sighed. "I hope I can reconcile with him again," he said. And the engines watched the sun disappear behind the houses.